Hey guys, Lauren Lewising here, and I am here to do a Q&A video. Let's address a few things first. Do you guys remember when I used to sit here all the time to do my videos? It's too dark where I usually sit back there, and so sitting right in front of a window, in front of my bed, brings back old times. Also, I cut off my hair. I also developed allergies at the age of 32. Fun things as you get older. Anyway, I am liking my hair. However, I did this really more out of necessity than want. My hair was just so damaged that it kept breaking off, and I had been trying to grow it out for about 2.5 years, I think, and it really wasn't growing because it was breaking. So I finally bit the bullet and cut off all the damage. So I think it's really cute, but like I said, I did this kind of out of necessity and not like desire, so it's still taking me a little bit of time to get used to it. But we're here for a Q&A, so let's get into it. So I'm going to be reading questions off of my iPad because that's where I screenshotted them. I asked for your questions mainly on Instagram, which is where I'm going to be answering them from. So Sass as Challenge asked, if someone was in the position you were in the very beginning of your journey, what is the one piece of advice you would give them? My answer is pretty much the same all the time. Follow the rules. They're there for a reason. They're there for you to be 1, safe after your surgery, and 2, successful after your surgery. So don't drink alcohol too early. Don't drink coffee too early. Get your fluids in, get your protein in, get your vitamins in. Eat the way you're supposed to. Listen to your doctor and your dietitian. Follow the rules for as long as possible. That's the easy and difficult, I guess, answer. Kerr by Keto. I hope I'm pronouncing people's names correctly. It's a little difficult on Instagram because it's like all one word. Are you going to compete in a fitness competition? Did you ever think before starting this that you would be this small? When you first started your journey, what was your shirt and jean goal size? So there are a few questions in there, and one, can I just say it is such an NSV for people to ask me if I'm planning to compete in a fitness competition. So no, I am not, for several different reasons. So the first being the cost. It is extremely expensive, especially for women, to compete in a figure, bikini, that type of competition, because a couple of things you have to, or I would have to hire a coach, but the bikini that you need for the show is like several $100s. I'm just not willing to do that. Number 2, I don't want to get that obsessed with how I'm eating and how I'm working out. I could see it becoming an unhealthy thing for me. I'm not saying it's an unhealthy thing for everybody, but I could see it becoming that and also just taking over my life. I'm trying to work on balance. I'm not great at balance, and it's really something I'm working on. Another reason is I'm not a competitive person, actually. I mean, I am and I'm not. I don't know how to say it, but I'm not like super into the competitive nature of it. My last answer is that this is not always something people think of if they are not familiar with figure or bikini competitions, or even with men. If it's your first bodybuilding competition, you might not think of this, but symmetry is actually very important to judges during those competitions. And I am very asymmetrical, mostly in my upper body, because I had left shoulder surgery. My tendon is loose on my left shoulder. It was tightened and it now is loosened again, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but my left shoulder actually, so that actually makes it more symmetrical. My left shoulder is out more than my right, which means that my left elbow actually hangs a little bit lower than my right, and the left side of my upper body has had to compensate for years and years for my left shoulder being weaker. So my, I don't know if you can tell really, but my left tricep is much bigger than my right. Ooh, that's kind of impressive. Even my back, like even my shoulders and my back, it's a little bit stronger on my left. So I would be working with some asymmetry issues that just, I don't know, aren't worth it. I'm just doing all this gym stuff for me and improving for myself, and yeah, that's my goal. The next question was, did I ever think I was going to be this small? And my answer is no. I never thought that I was going to be this small. However, I had always hoped that I would get down to 125 pounds. So my first goal was to get down to 150 pounds. That was my more reasonable goal. My second goal was to get down to 135, and then my last goal was, I can't remember if it was 125 or 120. I believe it was 125. But I didn't know what that would look like in my head. It had been so long since I had been that size. I was 14 the last time I weighed 125 pounds. So at that time, I was like a size 4 when I was 125 pounds. So I had always hoped to get down to like a size 4/6. So never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would get down to a 00/0. Just was not in the realm of possibility for me. So I guess that answered the last question too, which was what was my goal size? And my goal size was really to be a size small/size 4/6. So I surpassed that, and it really feels amazing. Brianna Larissa asked, did you ever struggle with water intake, and if so, what helped you? Was it setting a schedule, using flavors, room temp versus cold? So I definitely struggled with my water intake. That is kind of the number one thing that I don't struggle with anymore. And I will tell you that what helped me get my water in was when I started to use straws. I know they tell you not to use straws immediately after surgery, and I will tell you a couple of reasons why. One, it can introduce more air into your system, causing more discomfort immediately after surgery, and also it can make you drink faster, which if you drink too fast immediately after surgery, that also causes discomfort, pain, you could vomit, nausea. So that is why they tell you not to use straws immediately following surgery. However, that doesn't mean you can never use a straw ever again. And once I started using straws again, which was probably around 2 months post-op, that helped so much with getting my water intake up. I also did use Crystal Light, lemon juice. I'm now using apple cider vinegar. I'm not using those things for the supposed health benefits. I'm using those things because I get sick of plain water, so the flavor helps. Also, I know a lot of people can't drink cold water immediately after surgery. I was fine with it, but I know a lot of people have better luck with room temperature or warm fluids. However, warm fluids fill you up faster, so just keep that in mind. Lily12 Luke 14 asked, if you didn't have the financial ability to pay for plastics, do you think you would be as happy as you are now? Reason asking, I can't afford the plastic surgeries right now, and I find myself very insecure. You look beyond amazing, doll. Thank you. I'm going to be very honest with you and say that I do not think that I would be as happy as I am now if I was not able to get the plastic surgery. Was I happy before my plastic surgery? Yes. Was I very insecure about my loose skin? Yes. There were times where I would just say, fuck it, I'm not gonna care about it today, and I would wear sleeveless shirts, and I would wear shorts, so I still have my loose skin on my thighs. But there were just days where I would decide not to care about it, but really it was a big insecurity of mine, and I really let it hold me back with dating specifically. So I just personally don't think that I would be as happy as I am right now without my plastic surgeries. Red Lipped Beauty asked, "Hey Lauren, how were you able to pay for your weight loss surgery? I desperately need it, but I have no insurance nor any money. What are my options? Love your channel. You're doing and looking amazing." Thank you. Okay, so this is a great question. My weight loss surgery was paid for in full by my health insurance. There was a separate $600 out-of-pocket fee that I had to pay for, which covered the post-surgical and pre-surgical nutrition classes that everybody has to pay for, and then the co-pays for my doctor's visits I also had to pay for. Your options, if you don't have insurance, if your insurance doesn't cover it, if you don't have the financial ability to pay for it yourself, the first thing that I would say is to visit WLSFA.org. I will leave the link below, as I do in almost every one of my videos. So WLSFA is the Weight Loss Surgery Foundation of America. They give grants. I don't know if it's twice a year or once a year, but they give grants to people to be able to get weight loss surgery who can't afford it themselves and their insurance doesn't cover it. So you can look into how to apply for one of those grants. The other way that I would think is just to honestly save your money and go to Mexico. So that might sound scary, but I know so many people who have gone to Mexico for their weight loss surgery and have had incredible experiences. So you could look into the cost of what it would cost you to have your surgery in Mexico and how long it would take for you to save, and those are the two main options that I can think of. More1TJE asked, "Do you still like the CC you have chosen for your implants, or would you have gone smaller or bigger?" She is about to choose her size. So I have 325cc silicone implants. When I went into surgery, I gave her a range. I said around 300, no bigger than 350. Use your judgment. So we ended up with 325s. I can say that I am very happy with my implant size. I have not done a real body update, like a full body update, since 1 month post-op plastics, and I am now 9 months post-op plastics, I think. So there have definitely been some changes, like the swelling has gone down. They were very large after surgery. They've gone down like a full cup size since right after surgery. Honestly, every once in a while, I think I should have gone bigger, and then I try on an extra small dress and it fits me like everywhere but the chest. I don't have as many issues, but every once in a while I run into an issue where something doesn't fit me because of my chest, and it makes me very happy that I didn't go bigger. I feel like this size, I don't know if I can show a little, but I feel like this size like really fits my body. I'm short, I'm petite, I just feel like it complements the rest of my body well, so I am happy with the size that I went with. Shrinking Kimber WLS asked, "Is there anything you would do different post-op VSG or post-op plastics, and if so, what?" Post-op VSG, I always mention that I wish I had gotten into a regular workout routine as soon as possible post-op. I'm going to amend that a little bit to say weight training routine, because while the scale wouldn't have dropped as fast, and yes, I did lose weight actually pretty fast. I was a pretty fast loser. I think that my body I would have appreciated the way my body developed more had I been doing strength training from the beginning. So that is a big tip for me. As for post plastics, I'm pretty happy with what I've done post plastics. I feel like I've been taking care of my body well. I let it rest for long enough. The one thing that I have not been great about is putting on scar cream, but some people claim that they don't even help at all. I know that I have several scars on my body that I never used scar creams on. Obviously, these scars are the most extreme that I have. However, that's something that I wasn't great about, and also taping the marble into my belly button. I am really bad about that. I probably should still be doing it, and I can probably count on both hands the amount of times that I have taped that goddamn marble into my belly button at night. Desi Nick 791 asked, I'm having VSG in 3 months. I'm wondering, how do you go about learning to not obsess about food or using food for comfort? Any tips? So I am not someone who obsesses about food, and I really never was. However, I definitely used food as a comfort. For me, it was really easy after surgery to not use food as comfort for a couple reasons. One, I just wasn't hungry anymore. I really didn't have much of a desire to eat. I was not tempted by anything. I know this is not everyone's experience, but this was mine. Also, I just wasn't going through like a stressful time. I didn't have a lot of stress going on in my life, so I didn't need to turn to food to comfort myself because there was nothing I needed to comfort myself over. I will say that I have definitely used it as a coping mechanism since surgery, and if you do, you just, wake up the next day and move on. Don't think that you ruined everything because you used food as comfort once. Also, huge tip, go to therapy. I have had years and years and years and years of therapy, and it's just, if you are having an emotional affair with food, that's something you need to address, because it's not something you're going to be able to do after surgery, and once you are able to do it again, it's not going to be good for you. It's gonna negate the whole reason you had surgery. So addressing it and knowing you have the issue is the first step, and then doing something about it is definitely the next. Made Up Mama asked, is there anything you regret / would change if you could about your decision to have plastics? Do you have any recommendations for those of us seeking plastics now? I really don't regret anything that I decided about having plastics. I think that I waited a good enough time. My weight was semi-stable, even though I lost a good amount of weight actually from having my first consult till having surgery. I lost about 20 pounds. My head was in the game. I was ready to get it done. I would go into a consultation, one, with an open mind, but also keeping in mind your goals, because your goals might be different from your surgeon. But I would ask their opinion, if this was your body, or if you were making all the decisions, what would you tell me to do? My number one tip is to be realistic. Know that you are not going to be perfect after surgery. Just keep that in mind. Like, we're never going to look like Victoria's Secret models. I went into it knowing that. But it's even easier to pick your body apart after having plastic surgery than it was before, because now your flaws are even more visible, and it's even easier to pick your body apart. So just keep that in mind. Alright guys, I think that's all we have time for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you aren't already. And until next time.